All right, what's going on, guys? Another day in paradise, another Friday evening. I'm here with you guys. We're live right now. Let's get it cracking. So, what's the title of this stream? White nationalists inadvertently providing sources and solutions. So, I'm going to base this discussion off a Twitter repost. I know they call it X now, whatever. I'm not the only one. A lot of people, they're going to still continuously call it Twitter because it's more fitting. So I'm going to provide the links for this as well. I just wanted to hop up here and give you guys some content live, impromptu. Okay. So you guys can see here from my, X profile. I saw, like I navigate, on X lately and I find a lot of great content, which I think is good. It's good for us, for the promotion, the exposure, whatnot, and also to combat and challenge the rhetoric and conspiracies that people push towards us. There's a lot of material over there on X that we can basically grab and gather and bring over here and examine, as I'm doing right now. So I saw this comment. This guy put this comment here: those poor abominations will never be able to have organ transplants. And I reposted his initial, comment, and I put, those rich children of God will always have plenty of organ donors as the mulatto class continues to rise. So we're going to base the discussion around this specific, engagement, I can say. And let me just go into his comment and show you where the initial post is, where he put this comment at. Okay. So you can see here, this is the Excellencia Latin. I'll get into that later. But the post they put here is, these couples advertise their prolific miscegenation, which is kind of a buzzword. They're against a union of but mixed couples. But like I said, let me be specific, because when you look at these individuals, when they talk about miscegenation, they're only against black males being with non-black females. Period. They're not against white males with black females. They're not against white males with Asian women. They're not against that. It's only when the black male has the rights and the privileges and the access to be with other groups of women, then these type of characters, they whine and cry. But the thing is that's startling to me, to what sparks my interest, is when I'm looking at this post here. He puts here, are their children attractive? What type of pedophilic weirdo question is that? Are their children attractive? Who asks these type of questions? How is that even a acceptable question in the public domain? Talking about a group of children like that. Are they attractive? And they put these two videos here. I'm going to play both of them. And of course, like I said, there's a consistent theme when you deal with the white nationalists. It's a white female and a black male. That's it. They're not talking about the white guy with his Latina partner or the white guy with his Asian fetish. They're not talking about that. It's only when the black male has access to a white female and they start a family, then the white nationalists start to cry about race mixing. 'Cause the whole miscegenation or race mixing, it's a code word for the white nationalists. They're not against race mixing. They've never been. They've never been. They're not against it. They only have an issue when black males have the same influence and capability and access to females that they have had. Okay. Let's play this clip here. There's no audio. I don't think there even needs to be audio, if I can even hear it. Whatever. This is like a popular social media, couple. I don't know what the hell their name is. I don't follow them on any of the platforms. I'm sure they have a pretty large following, because I've seen a bunch of their videos all over the place. I don't know what their names are, but it's a black male white female, blue eyes, and they got a bunch of kids. Like, I don't know, what can you count? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what you call that. Because after quintuplet is like five. I don't know after that. I have no. I think they had like octomom. I don't know what the terminology they have for they got a big family here, okay? And but all their children have blue eyes. You look at the family here, they all got blue eyes. They all have the European genes. Like this, it's funny. This is basically a classic example, exhibit A, of that black is not dominant. For sure, they got some curls in their hair and their skin is tanned and they're brown, kind of light brownish skin, but they still carry their mom's facial symmetry in their eyes. Clearly, you look at both of their parents, you look at the offspring, the children, they carry the mom's genes way more than the father's genes. It's very clear looking at this image, this video right in front of us. So I don't know who these people, what their name is. It has the Instagram handle, whatever. But the thing is that the white nationalists are talking about this over on X, and there's another family here. This video has audio. You guys can hear it. It says 2016. It's a white female, a black male. This is what they're against. Like, if it's reversed, they're perfectly okay with that. You want to know why? Look at the guy, the person who put the post. He has a picture of Clarence Thomas. Okay, America's favorite dark skinned fucking coon. Okay, in the little, thumbnail, whatever you call it, their banner, their Twitter banner. Look at the image here. It says speak English. It's a white guy and a black female. This is the fucking profile pic of this character. And he puts here white privilege degree. Elon Musk saves, right? This white American's gonna look to some white South African to save his rear end. That's why you know they're fucked out here in society. That's why it's too easy out here. And he says, proud colonizer. What is he colonizing? Some black poon, which everybody has access to. Okay. Indigenous to X, last blue dog. So they're resulting to trolling because they know their influence is dwindling by the second every day. So they all they have is trolling. He puts here community, Vatican City, whatever, join 2015. I love how he puts here this dark skinned Bantu, what's his name? The Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, right? They all, yeah, might as well put Thomas Sowell right next to him. Okay, they're their favorite Bantus, right? Candace Owens, Clarence Thomas, and who else? Larry Elder and Thomas Sowell. Okay, all the fucking white supremacists, their favorite sock puppet, you know, court gestures out here. This is why they don't like mulattoes, because we'll look them in the eye and we'll fuck them. We'll let them know, hey, bitch, I'm gonna compete with you. I want power. I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not trying to be your friend. I'm not gonna dance around and play games with your ass. Okay, I'm gonna get to the power source. The dark skinned Bantu, they just want to play dumb and act fucking stupid. They want your acceptance. I don't want your acceptance. I'm not trying to be accepted by you. I'm not going to prove that I'm a patriot to you savages. I'm going to let you know I want power and influence in this society. I will compete with you. If it's not me, it's going to be the younger folks, the people coming up after me. They're going to compete with you. They're going to want power and influence in society. They're going to get it as well. I'm nobody special. I'm nobody special. I'm just a guy with some balls blabbing my mouth on the internet. But the ones coming up after me, the younger folks, they're going to understand this. They're going to want some power and influence in society. Period. So it's funny. I look at his image here. Like, yeah, they're perfectly okay with this white guy, black female. This is his fucking profile image. They're perfectly, it's a-okay. Let's go back to his initial post. And the guy puts here, these couples advertise their prolific miscegenation. Well, wait a second. Aren't you advertising miscegenation? Which miscegenation, like I said, is race mixing. But you have to understand with the white nationalists, they're only against race mixing when the black male, has access to other groups outside of black females. Look at his fucking image here. white boy with a black female. It's okay. Like this is the jokes write themselves when you look at this stuff, right? But then the thing is, what I'm highlighting here, if you just kept it between you blacks and you fucking whites, I wouldn't have to say shit. I'd sit there and laugh, like the Latinos, like the Asians, like everyone else does. We just sit back and laugh at you idiots. But the fact is, you're talking about the children. He puts here, are their children attractive? And a question mark. We're like, what type of inappropriate question is this? And you're talking about the mulattoes now. Oh, okay. So yeah, now I'm involved in the conversation now. Now you got me involved. You got my attention. Now you're talking about the mulattoes. Okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm paying attention now. And we're looking at it like these look like these look like healthy individuals, healthy families. I'm not sure like what's the problem here? How is this like a negative or a bad thing? He's talking about miscegenation. What the hell are they talking about? This looks like normal people on social media. Oh, but they're upset because it's a black guy. It's a black dude who's probably got some money, and he got the white female here who looks genetically, sound. And that's why they're hating too. Be honest with you, because she's attractive, and they're looking at her like her gene. She's pretty good genetically, so they're upset that she's with this guy. Maybe they're a good match. It's not my business, not my relationship. I don't know these people. This is social media. But the white nationalists, they're upset. They're only upset when the black male has access to this blonde haired, blue eyed Aryan female. Then they fucking whine and cry. But the same white boy wants access to the black poon. He wants access to the Asian, his little Asian fetish. He wants access to the Latina. See, that's okay for him. He can have access to all these females, and it's no problemo. But when the black male has access to these, then they fucking whine and cry. My whole thing is like I say, I leave all that stuff alone. I don't care. But when these savages they start talking about the mulatto children, then they're getting us involved in the conversation. And we're here to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Sit down and make him wanna marry me. Sit down and make him wanna marry me. Sit down and make him wanna marry me.
So, and with this video here, it's a pretty large family. That's like what, five children, healthy children. They're all covering their face. You don't know who they are. It, none of us know. It's not our business. But this is just a social media post. And I'm looking at it like you see this person here with his, white boy with the black female here, speak English t-shirt, and they're talking shit about miscegenation. See, it's only an issue when the black male has access to the white female. I'm going to repeat that because that's a consistent theme when you deal with these individuals. They have no problem when these white boys get their little bastard kids from these Asians all over the damn place or Latinas. It's not an issue. It's only when the black male has access to white females, then they cry about race mixing. You're going to hear a lot more about this on this channel because this is a consistent theme. They're showing their ass, you know. And what it is, I'm going to talk more deeply about this in the future, is because their own female counterparts are committing open mutiny against them. And they got to find some scapegoat. They got to find some scapegoat to blame for why they're fucking taking L's and losing out here. So, yeah, their own women are committing mutiny against them. So they're going to blame the mulatto children. They're going to blame the Jews. They're going to, the convenient excuses. They're going to find someone to blame for why their women are competing with them for power, right? Committing mutiny. So when I saw this comment, those poor abominations. This is what this guy put right here. Those poor abominations will never be able to have organ transplants. He's talking about the children. I told you with the white nationalists, they all love football. They're watching all their favorite, dark skinned blacks on the football field. They love football. They're watching these blacks on the football field, the basketball field. They love the white women, right? That's their mama, their sister, their aunt, right? Their nightmare is that their aunt, their mama, sister, whatever, is with the dark skinned black guy. That's their nightmare, their biggest nightmare, not Freddy Krueger. You know, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's not their biggest night. Their biggest nightmare is this dark skinned Bantu who's with their white sister, white cousin, whatever, or daughter, right? That's their biggest nightmare. So when he puts here, you look at the comment I highlighted, he puts those poor abominations. I'm like, really? What the fuck is an abomination? And again, this is a guy that doesn't show his face, typical with the white nationalist coward. He puts here, he's a veteran. He's a veteran. Oh, yeah, he served the military. Yeah, like everybody else. Husband, okay, like everybody else. Father of five, 135 IQ children. Right. Winner. He puts winner. Winner of what? I love to see what you're winning, boy. Really love to see. Right. He's upset because the mulattoes are going to compete with him for this whole winner title, 135 IQ title. He's upset because we're going to compete and we're going to topple you and take your fucking crown, your throne. That's all it is. He knows the Bantu wants to kiss his ass and be his buddy, play football for him and basketball, shoot hoops like the Savages do. He knows that the mulattoes were not going to do that. Okay. He puts your the sluts don't DM me. I have no zero interest in your OnlyFans. Yeah. Right. So what sparked my interest, and I saw this, like I said, and I saw this initial comment, and then I quoted I this comment, I reposted, as you can see here, taking us back. But those rich children of God will always have plenty of organ donors as the mulatto class continues to rise. Okay. And he puts here, that's not how it works. Each mulatto is 50-50, precisely. But which of the 23 chromosomes came from what part of the parent's heritage? Even mulatto siblings are too genetically diverse to donate organs, even to one another. And I put here, with genetic testing, we can track lineages from each mulatto test and find an exact match. We have the solutions to our problems, and you don't. You only have problems, and you won't be necessary. And that's the whole thing here is I'm including like they sit here and act and interject as if they're trying to like, oh, well, there's more problems, miscegenation, and you're not going to find an organ donor and you're going to have more problems here. And like, well, we have solutions for this now. We've been brainstorming and gathering notes and collecting data for a minute now. And yeah, we've been watching you. Now we're talking, we're highlighting you, we're seeing you. It's like, this is too easy. This is too easy. And of course, he replies here with a source, diverse health, and he gives me a source. I'm gonna talk about this source right now. That's why I wanted to hop up on here and talk my shit, because I'm gonna give you guys this link, this information, so you guys are informed. Like these fucking fools are giving us information willingly. That's why I put the title "White Nationalists Inadvertently Provide Sources and Solutions." Like he thought he ate, he thought he did something, providing this source about, oh, you guys don't have, sufficient blood marrow transplant donors. You guys got issues out here. And I read the article kind of briefly initially. This is what, September 20th? So a few weeks ago. I kind of laughed. I was like, again, you're actually doing us a service by providing us with solutions and where to find what we are looking for. Also, I'll include that my circles focus on the ultra specificity of mulattoes being European and African. The article notes BIPOC. We don't use that language, not over here. You look in my chat, none of the people over here talk about people of color, a light skinned fucking black, or, we're, we're golden. You don't see that type of language in my chat for a reason. We don't push that language over here. There's other spots you can go to. They talk about the whole people of color and the BIPOC, the black indigenous people of color and the golden, light skinned black and all. Go talk to the blacks for all of that. Over here, this is a mulatto spot. Period. So let me share the article. The guy provided an article. I was like, this is hilarious. They're just giving us, and I've seen this before. This was over on like Facebook. One of these guys, I was kind of going, kind of replying to his comments and shit. And it was funny. It was like, if you engage with these individuals long enough, they'll start providing you with some solutions and sources of where to find some answers. Like, these guys are so fucking dumb. They think they're really eating out here. They think they're gonna like share some sources and screenshots and links to articles and links to websites, and mixed people have identity issues. Mixed people suffer from this and that. I'm like, you are helping me. You're giving me information. I don't have to do the research. I just talk to you, dumbass white nationalists. You're gonna give me all the information I need. Thank you. This is why I'm engaging with you. Because when I deal with the Bantus, all they're going to do is whine and cry colorism for the next 400 fucking years. But with the white nationalists, they're actually going to give us some links to articles of where to contact specific, medical personnel to find the solutions we're looking for. I'm like, you're doing all the work for us out here. You cannot make it easier. And they think they're eating. That's the best part about it. They think they're going to show me, like, oh, you got problems out here. You people aren't going to find an organ transplant donor or a blood donor. I'm like, bro, you're giving me all the links. I got the numbers, the connections. I got contacts out here now. I mean, shit's looking pretty good for me out here. I can just build upon this. Fuck, thank you. Let's check this out. So the website is Diverse Health Hub, blood, organ, and bone marrow issues for BIPOC and mixed races. Now, language is very specific, or excuse me, very ambiguous, not specific. That's an issue for us over here, but it's okay. We can use it, learn from it, and build upon it. He puts here blood transfusions, organ transplants, and bone marrow transplants can be detrimental situations for any person who needs one. And it piqued our interest about the situation for those from diverse backgrounds. These medical procedures aren't the most pleasant things to think about. But what special considerations are there for those of us who are mixed and black, indigenous, and people of color? So right there, that's kind of the broad language they use, the BIPOC. And I told the guy, look, over here, we don't use that. We don't use people of color and BIPOC and all that stuff. We don't use that over here. We know who we are over here. We're European and African. We're mulattoes. Period. There's no golden or light skinned black confusion over here. There's other spaces and other channels who deal with the pro black, light skin, golden MGM confusion. Over here, we don't do that. We're very specific. We know who we are over here. Puts here blood types. First, we took a look at the vital fluid that courses through all of our bodies, blood. Depending on what specific part of the world we're looking at, the percentages of blood types vary greatly. We learn facts about the Rh factor as well, or the positive or negative portion that's sometimes noted with a simple plus or negative, along with your blood type, AB, or O. What did we learn about blood types in the United States? We discovered the AB negative at 0.6% of the population, with B negative at 1.5% of the rarest blood types in the United States by far. Not only are they rare, but Rh negative blood types can only receive Rh negative transfusions, unlike Rh positive blood types who can receive Rh negative or Rh positive blood. Doesn't seem quite fair, right? According to the American Red Cross, AB negative and B negative blood types are rare for African American, Latin American, Asian American people, while A negative type is another rare type for Asian Americans. Interestingly, O positive is the most common blood type for African Americans at 47%, Latin Americans at 53%, and Asian Americans at 37% of those populations. There are also blood types that are even more rare than these, such as an uncommon subtype that's needed to treat sickle cell disease, and other rare blood types that can run into issues during blood transfusions. If you see the types U negative, Duffy negative, RZRZ, Renault, Golden Blood, JK Null, Diego B negative, or Dory B negative. These are rare types in specific BIPOC populations. Interesting. But the whole ambiguity and fluidity of this BIPOC label is why I basically don't acknowledge it within my circles, my apparatus, what I'm doing, my message. Ultra specific. Now, this is a public platform. All my platforms are public, so everyone tunes in, comments, and all this stuff. But I'm ultra, the people I center my discussion, my content, everything I'm doing is specifically for the mulatto Americans, those who are abandoned, who are used and abused, forgotten about. Their voice is basically, you know, what I can say, drowned out by the black intelligentsia, okay, with their funding and influence from the whites, the Anglos. So I specifically speak for the mulatto Americans, period. So the whole BIPOC notion here, this doesn't apply to me. None of my posts, none of even like my nomenclature, none of it involves this BIPOC language. This is academic, communist, pro-black jargon. Is the liberal, the leftist, liberals are the ones who are putting the battery in the back of the black nationalists to give them this type of academic vocabulary to use this BIPOC language to talk about black and indigenous. Now you have blacks who are pretending to be indigenous. I mean, this is the type of confusions they're pushing. This is not what I'm doing over here. This is what we're not doing that over here. We don't get it confused. This whole indigenous stuff, I don't talk about that. What actions can take what actions can you take as a BIPOC, see, or a mixed race person to help toward healthy equity? First, make sure to find out your blood type. Many people remember getting a blood test when they were in elementary school, but this is less common in current times. You can find out after a donation of blood, or simple test kits can also be found at pharmacies or can be ordered online for reasonable cost. Tests are quick and easy to complete. A simple pinprick of your finger and applying blood onto the testing card shows your results in a few minutes. Don't forget to donate blood if you qualify to donate, which is especially important if you have a rare blood type in the United States like AB negative, B negative, and the other special rare types. Also, O negative blood is important as a universal donor that can be given to all blood types and RH factors. Due to the fact that type O blood doesn't have an antigens that would trigger an immune response, people of all blood types and RH factors can receive O negative blood. This is why O negative blood donations are so important for local blood supplies. Organ transplants. I'm saying, the reason why I'm delving into this article is because this white nationalist guy shared this with us. He was talking shit about miscegenation, and he referred to you mulattoes, especially when you're younger, as abominations. And I'm sitting there, oh really? And I challenged the guy, and then the guy shared this article. I'm like, you fucking idiots! Like, you guys are giving us information that will help us lead us in the right direction to solve problems. This has been consistent when I'm dealing with these white nationalists on social media. They're so fucking dumb. I mean, they think they're really eating out here and they'll share links and sources and this. And I'm like, bro, you're helping me out in my circles. We're not underneath the blacks. This isn't the 1930s. We don't serve and underneath the blacks anymore. The mulattoes who do that, they're not over here on this spot. With what the mulatto vanguard is doing, okay, with the pro whack mulattoes who have black baby daddies and they're trying to fit in with blacks, they're not over here. They're highly discouraged. They're going to know quickly with the quickness. This is not the spot for them. Okay. So those other spots, you can go over there with them and tease them and kind of troll them. But over here, nah, we're not doing that. I put here or this individual, this article puts here another action to take is register as an organ donor when you receive your state identification or driver's license. It is a normal feeling to be unsure or to have mixed feelings about being an organ donor. It might be helpful to keep in mind that BIPOC and mixed. It's funny how they include both of these, like, or they separate, I should say. They separate both of these because BIPOC doesn't mean anything. It means Black, Indigenous, people of color. They're including Latinos and Native Americans with the Black group, which is a problem in itself. Because now you got blacks pretending to be Indian, indigenous. So, and then they say BIPOC and mixed race. So they're trying to lump you. Mixed race doesn't mean anything. You got Hoppas. You got Hoppas who are European and Asian. They're not the same as mulatto. And that's what I'm trying to say when I'm with my social media branding. I'm like, I'm ultra specific. The mulattoes are uniquely specific in this nation with the racial dichotomy that exists between European and African, white, black. The mulattoes, we are a blend, a mixture of the European African. We're not the same. They talk about mixed race. We're not the same as a Latino who's half white, half Latino, and Asian, or who's half Asian, half white, or whatever. We're not the same as them. We're uniquely different. And these people, and a lot of these people in academia, they're not respecting you. They're not you mulattoes. They're not respecting you. They want to erase your ass in the blackness, and they're going to be challenged. I mean, it's funny. Like, look, they can do what they want. They want to pretend like on social media or whatever. They can just strike my channel down on TikTok and strike my channel down all the social media platforms. I'm still going to be out here. Like, the audience is already here. They've already heard my voice. They know who I am. They're going to follow me. Wherever I'm talking my shit and I'm speaking my message, they're going to come crawling over. They're going to follow me. Doesn't matter. So this idea of trying to cancel me or trying to block me out and all this stuff, like, people are still going to be searching for this information. They're still going to want to hear, wait a second, who's speaking for you? Who's speaking for the mulattoes? Who's speaking for those of you who are unique in this nation, who have been erased? Your voices have been erased and drowned out for a very, very long time. But now you have a voice now. Now you have a voice. And they don't want you to have a voice. They'll only give you a voice if you spread pro-blackness and pro-LGBT. When you analyze these academic circles, this is what it all boils down to. They'll give you a voice. You could be your little mixed and little biracial voice on Instagram. I see all these pages out there. Yeah, they'll give you your voice if you're pro-LGBT and pro-black and pro all this other shit that's not pro-Mulatto. Let me continue on. It might be helpful to keep in mind that BIPOC and mixed race patients have a harder time finding matches for vital organs like kidneys and hearts. Over half of the patients on the national waiting list for a life-saving transplant at 58% are patients from communities of color. Then again, communities of color, what are they saying? They're saying Latino, they're saying Black, they're saying Arabic, everybody that's not white. That's what they're saying. That's not specific. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything, right? Consider updating your status to become an organ donor and register on the Get a Life Donor Program website. One of your organs could be used to save someone else's beloved daughter, son, sister, brother, mother, father, wife, husband, friend. And they have a link here. Now, this website, all the links here, everything I'm talking about right now, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it with you guys so you guys will all have access to all of this. Okay. So, like I said, the funny thing is, like I said, white nationalists inadvertently provide sources and solutions. They're giving us a link. They're making it easier for us. I love it. All right, guys, let me take a quick segue and yeah. And then I'll be back in a quick minute. Chill.
has the right to dream. There are endless possibilities stretched out before you.
To trust in your own power.
Whatever happens from now on, you stand firm and face your destiny without fear, but with courage.
What awaits him down the path, he will then have to choose.
No one's gonna give you a map. You've got to walk your own path.
The children leave their homes in search of this quest.
What is thy desire?
As they search, they are always asking questions. What's out there? What's waiting for me?
Why was I made? Who made me? And what did they make me for?
Are you gonna go up into space with your old man or not? Maybe I'll never get over this. I've lived my life following my dreams, and I don't have any regrets.
You gonna just keep running away?
Just keep running away? I'm not running.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Believe in yourself and create your own destiny. Don't fear failure.
All right, guys, we're back. Let's finish this off. We got the main meat of the matter, bone marrow transplants. This is a big deal within the kind of mulatto circles. Talking about finding sufficient bone marrow transplants for us. Okay. This is their main medical dilemma that they propose for us. Okay. And even though certain organ transplants are more difficult for mixed race people to find a match, bone marrow transplants are the most difficult of all to find. Only 4% are registered bone marrow donors identify as mixed race, and many mixed race cancer patients have waited many years to find a match for a bone marrow transplant. And the thing is with that, because these mixed race people identify as black. I mean, so much of our dilemmas would be solved if these mixed race, these mulattoes specifically, I'm talking about, because mixed race is too broad. If these mulattoes identify as mulatto, we would have all the solutions right in front of us. But because we're too fragmented, disorganized, scattered all over the place, acting fucking dumb, caping for blacks, got black baby daddies, and it's like you wonder, you have all these problems in front of you, right? If we added an extra layer of specificity, a lot of these medical dilemmas, these problems would diminish. And looking at other BIPOC, because these people talk for you. Like who is here promoting this BIPOC language? Like this, like who's promoting this language? That's what I'm trying to think. I've never used this language to identify an individual, an American, anybody around the planet. I've never identified a demographic, a population as BIPOC. And since the get go, since the beginning, when I've seen this language, I'm like, this is just some gay communist bullshit. When I'm looking like this is too broad, it doesn't mean nothing, it doesn't mean anything. BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, People of Color. That doesn't mean anything. It almost sounds anti-white, if I'll be honest. They're basically saying anybody that's not white. That's what they're saying with BIPOC. We see this acronym here, BIPOC. They're saying anyone that's not white. Like most Asians on the planet have brown or darker skin. Okay. A lot of East Asians don't. Korea and Japan and places in China. But these other Mongolia, Southeast Asia, Vietnam, Cambodia, etc., they all got brown skin. Arab world, Middle East, all brown skin. Africa, we already know some of the blackest people there. South America, we already know indigenous populations, brown people. So I'm like, when I talk about black, indigenous people of color, it's so vague and broad. Who are they talking about? Which demographic, which population are they specifically speaking for? There's no specificity there. That's why for me, I reject it at an academic level, at a social media level, right? I just reject it. It doesn't mean anything. I can't respect it. It just sounds like some pro-black, gay, communist shit. Just in simpler terms, that's what I see when I see this BIPOC language. Even academically, I don't respect it at all. It will be crushed academically in an argument. They put here BIPOC patients in need of a bone marrow transplant. Black Americans have around 23% chance of finding a donor compared to 41% of Asian and Pacific Islander Americans, 46% for Latino and Latino Americans, and 77% for white Americans. So they're addressing the discrepancies here with finding donors. Interesting. But again, no mention of mulatto. Should be a rising concern for you guys, for you mulattoes. There are websites dedicated specifically to registering potential mixed race donors for bone marrow transplants where you can find, you can be typed with a simple cheek swab. Joining as a potential donor on the website Be the Match. It's free of cost for those who are ages 18 to 44. For those who are between the ages of 45 and 60, you can register for the cost of $100 tax deductible donation or sign up at the page on the City of Hope website where registration is free. And for those who really want to become active and recruiting potential donors for bone marrow transplants, you can sign up and host a bone marrow registration drive or join in fundraising efforts. Blood transfusions, organ transplants, and bone marrow transplants aren't always as simple for those from mixed and BIPOC ethnic backgrounds. They separate the two. It's funny, like I said, they already got the BIPOC in the bag. They got the blacks, indigenous, and people of color in the bag, but they got the mixed and they kind of got the mixed just circling out there. You don't have representation. You don't have representation. You have anybody who sticks up for you, who advocates for you. And to be honest with you, I see a lot of these mixed people who are caping for blacks, who are pro-wax, caping, and I'm sitting there like, look, why don't you go talk to them for your representation? Because I see a lot of them. I see a lot of them who are mixed, or they acknowledge on social media they're mixed, but at the same time, like they're still caping for the black community. And I'm sitting there laughing like those individuals are not included with my circles and what I'm doing. I purposely ostracize. I get them up out of here because they're a part of all this confusion. Like you're serving that community, then go to them and for answers. Go to them to seek help and for solutions. I don't get it. Like, why are you coming to me? I don't understand it. I see these people. Why are you coming to me? Like, oh, I'm just a fan of your content, Mulatto Vanguard. I like your. I was like, all right. And you look at it like, even with this kind of this website, they provide solutions, how to sign up to be a donor, which I like. But at the same time, they're like trying to erase you as a mulatto with this whole mixed and BIPOC rhetoric. They're trying to erase mulattoes. That's all this is. But there are actions that can be taken to make the path forward for those medical procedures more quick and easy for those from diverse populations. Many people are very busy in their lives, but try to add one of these actions to your to-do list. Your initiative to take action has a potential to save someone else's life in the future. And what this is ultimately, when you look at this ambiguous, broad language, when they say mixed and BIPOC, what this is because mulattoes allow other people to speak for them. That's all this is. You allow these other these other populations, they're probably gay, people of color, whatever, mixed, whatever they are, pro-black. You allow them to speak for you. This is why you end up in this mess and this cycle of confusion. We're trying to find a match, an organ donor, a blood transplant donor, and you come to find out where you're in this kind of mixed bag, pun intended, of circling of confusion. You have a lot of these people in academia are not your friend. Like they serve the Afrocentrics, the black intelligentsia, and they use mixed people as proxies. They use mulattoes as proxies to get access to white capital. And a lot of mulattoes haven't figured it out yet. Like, because even within academia, they have trained you to say that mulatto is a bad word. It means something negative. Just call me biracial. Just call me a light skinned black. And I'm sitting there like, you wonder why you're getting punked out here in society. You wonder why you have no representation. Nobody's advocating for you. It's a very sick cycle. So I'm going to share this website, this link. They have a bunch of links here. Gift of Life Donor Program, City of Hope, Be the Match, or Mixed Marrow. Sources. And like I said, the title of this stream is for the white nationalists inadvertently provide sources and solutions, because everything I just spewed there, like this white nationalist guy, they just provide you with sources. I'm laughing. It's hilarious. I could have found that on my own. I didn't need this white boy. Okay. But they're so cocky and today, where they're sitting there talking shit, thinking they're going to share an article to a link. Mixed people suffer from mental illness. Mixed people suffer medical disparities. I'm like, bro, we already know with white people, you guys got back problems, you have other issues, even the self-deletion rate. They want to talk about psychologically, mixed people are confused. But as far as I'm concerned, the self-deletion rate amongst white males is far exceeds any other demographic in the nation. United States, I'm talking about. So like we can get into that if they want to keep pushing in that angle. We can get into that. Like it just doesn't make sense to play this game. It doesn't make sense because your numbers, they're not looking good. The discrepancies and the medical situation, it doesn't look good for a lot of you guys. I have no idea why you're bringing up us. Like the thing is with the guy here who shared the links, he's calling us abominations. He's calling you people abominations. Hilarious. We got this track now. Hilarious. I can't wait for these mulattoes to grow older. I can't wait to see where they're at if they decide to practice medicine, internal medicine, surgery, whatever discipline, engineering, whatever they partake in. I can't wait for them to grow older and realize, hey, these people are sitting there talking about you when you're young, when you're a baby, when you're little. They're disrespecting you, your family, your heritage, calling you an abomination openly. They're openly calling you an abomination. These are people, you're competing with them in this society right now. Okay, you're not a Bantu. You're not going to dance and sing songs for them. That's the job of the Bantu. Okay, it's hilarious. Let's see what we got in the comments. We got here. What is that adult even worrying about whether or not those minors are attractive? Exactly. Let me bring you back to the initial comments here from this fucking weirdo. And he said he has like 5 kids. They're all 135, IQ. The guy puts here, you guys can see all this. Yep. Those poor abominations will never have organ transplants. And he provided us with some links and sources to where we can find organ transplants. That's how fucking stupid these white nationalists are. They're giving you everything you need, the solutions. They're so damn cocky. See, because they're used to watching these fucking blacks on the football field throwing a ball. They're so used to dark skinned Bantus cooning for them. They don't understand they're dealing with mulattoes now who are like, look, and they know because they hate me. Like they know they deal with the black because all you mulattoes know this. If you work with these whites in the workplace and you got Bantus there, you guys already know the dynamics there. They love the dark skinned Bantu because they know that dark skinned Bantu is gonna coon it up and be their best buddy. But the mulatto, they don't like you because you're gonna compete with their ass. They don't like you guys know I'm not the only guy out here, right? You gals or guys, whatever. You're out here working, making your money, surviving out here in this competitive environment. You know, like with us, with the mulattoes, like, yeah, they're competing with you, right? They know this dark skinned Bantu is going to kiss their butt and try to be their best buddy. And that little dark skinned Bantu, okay, he's going to tell on you, right? He's going to rat you out to their white massa. That's what they do on all the social media. So, yeah, they're surprised when they see you, they deal with you, they realize, oh shit, they can't deal with you the same way as they do with the dark skinned Bantu. Different story here. You look at the profile here, the guy puts veteran husband, father of 135 IQ children, and he says he puts here winner. The hell are you winning with your social media profile? What are you winning? Because you got 5 kids who are smart. Okay. There's black, fathers who got smart kids, right? And there's Asian fathers who got smart kids. So it's like, okay, that's your metric. Okay. So yeah, I'm not, this is just some random, Twitter account, whatever. But the fact that he called the children abominations, that's what takes my interest. You know what it is? Because nobody speaks up and advocates for you guys. When you're young, when you're your age, adults, you're older, nobody advocates for mulattoes on social media. So I got to be the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. I got to be the bad guy who advocates for you guys because nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is showing their face. You might have some other pussies and doppelgangers and fucking copycats who pretend like they're pro mulatto or they're advocating. They're not on camera. They're not showing their face. They're not advocating for you. Yeah, I'm the only guy on social media who's advocating for you mulatto Americans. Nobody else is doing it. Trust me, because I'd see them, I'd know. I'd be the one supporting them, pushing their profile. I'd be sharing their shit every day on my social media. I'm looking for you people. Who are these pro mulattoes? I don't see them. Like I got to be the bad guy out here. I got to be the bad guy. And that's perfectly okay. This is the life I chose. Okay, so I'm that guy. But I look at this information. It's like, yeah, it's pretty interesting. Let's see what we got here. Keith David, the white man and the divested black female is a privilege for them. Yeah, because you have to understand with the white boys, they got the JD Vance, who's the vice president running mates for Donald Trump. He's got a dark skinned Indian partner. His kids are fucking way darker than him. They don't look white. They're okay with that. When they talk about miscegenation, it's not about black females. It's not about Indian females. It's always, always about black males with non-black females. Always, period. When you deal with the white nationalists, when they cry about miscegenation or race mixing, they're only crying about black males having access to non-black females. Period. Okay. That's a picture of MLB player John Rocker and his girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I don't know who they are. They look like they got money though. That's the thing. Like you talking about the players, the images I shared of like the interracial couple. Yeah, they look like they got the black guys looks like he's got money. You could just tell by looking at them. They look healthy, like they're well fed, they got money. These white men are down bad once a black woman wraps him around. Yeah, you're a white guy, you got a black female. You can't even get a white female. And you see these dark-skinned black guys, they got a white female. They're down bad. They're taking fucking L's. My whole thing is okay, they can do that silently or, you know, humbly, but they're talking shit about the mulatto children now. They're not just talking shit about you, mulatto man. They just talk shit about me all they want. You're bald, you're short and fat. Okay, fucking run up on me. See how that works out for you, right? But they're talking about the children. That's what sparks my interest because see, they're trying to set the precedent at the moment now. They realize, okay, they got a problem in front of them because these children, once these mulattoes, they grow up, they become of age, they're not going to bow down to whites. Okay, they're not Hispanic, they're not Asians, they're not Arabs, they're not going to bow down to Anglos. Okay. And see, that's what they're fearful of. They realize they cannot maintain the social order the way it is currently right now. But yeah, you said like the white guy, he's got his black female. It's all good. They're only crying when it's the black guy who's got a white female. Then they whine and cry. Yeah. White men usually prefer black women once they're 50 plus. They suddenly see them as valuable for their youth. When they are younger, they prefer white women, Asian women. Yeah. Great point. Like a George Lucas type of guy, right? Once George Lucas turned like 50 or something years old, then he miraculously found a black female, right? And the black woman was like in her 40s or some shit, right? But prior to her, George Lucas was all white women and all this Asian whatever, right? But once they kind of get older, then they realize, oh, okay, let me get a black female. She'll be loyal because I'm white. She'll bow down to me. you know, you all know the game. You all know. If you don't know, you're gonna learn over here. They probably prefer them when they're older because it's easily to get a black woman than the other two options are. Easier, right? Easier, right? Not the transplants again. Not when whites get 10% different more cancers more commonly than mulattoes. Yeah, they suffer from all types of shit. I don't have the stats, the quotes, but I promise you, I will present that in due time. If they keep pushing this whole, mixed people suffer medical issues and mental health and all this stuff, I will present the data. These whites they suffer from from back problems and from mental health as far as the self deletion. They have a lot of issues. It's not all, white picket fences and butterflies over in their community. They got a lot of issues and discrepancies. So I haven't, it's funny how they try to present this. Like I said, the comment the guy here put was like abominations. They can't get a bone marrow transplant. And I'm like, oh, thank you for sharing articles. Now I can, I can basically share this with people. And so they can see, hey, this is where you want to go to find your match. You got people who are similar like you who are looking for a match. Here you go. We're building connections every day. So I don't understand why they're talking so much. Like they need to go deal with the blacks, deal with the Bantus, go talk to them. They can play their basketball and football and dance around. The mulattoes over here, it's a different story over here. Why is Brad even in our business about who we are having kids with anyway? He is down bad. He said he has 5 kids. The guy said he has 5 kids. You look at his profile. Let me go back to it right here. He's got 5 kids, and his kids got 135 plus IQ. Like, why the fuck are you in our business? Why do you got your stupid fucking mouth open about mulattoes? If you're so proud of your 135 plus IQ kids, go stay over there, boy. We're not worried about you. Why are you over here talking about mulattoes? Because we're watching your ass now. Oh, you see, it's all good if we're just talking about the Bantus. We're just talking about the Bantus. That's what they want. They want to keep you people just talking, going back and forth with the colorism and stupid fucking shit. This isn't about colorism. We're not the same people. We're not genetically, culturally, heritage. We're not the same as a Bantu, period. And these other content creators, they'll try to pretend and muddy the waters. I'm here to correct ship. I'm here to correct ship. I'm going to let you know we're not the same. And trust me, I'm like the evil villain out here. I'm going to ruffle feathers. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going anywhere. You fucking hoes can dox me and expose, basically, quote unquote, expose, raise my profile, give me more followers and subscribers and all this stuff. That's what your exposing is going to do. Give me more eyeballs. I was nobody before. I'm nobody now. I've always said this from day one. I'm not special. I'm just a guy with some balls and a microphone. If you think you're going to expose me or something like that, you're only going to raise my profile. More people are going to know. This is only going to grow. I'm nobody special. But I'm telling you, these mulattoes who are younger than me coming up after me, they're going to take this information. They're going to run with it. They're not bowing down to Bantus and their white nationalist leaders. They're not going to do that. They're going to develop their own leadership council, their own agenda and constitution that serves them specifically, period. They usually go for black women once they did their duty, of creating white kids with white women. Yeah, right. Like I already referenced the guy's name. What's his name? George Lucas, these type of guys, right? Yeah. Also, then at least 2 white women have divorced and taken their thing. So black women get a broke older white man. However, his brokenness is still more than the average pookie. So they see it as good. Upwardly mobile mulattoes have been considered an issue elsewhere. My understanding is that the tradition in Brazil has been to co-opt them and reclassify them as white, but not poor mulattoes. I got a lot of stuff coming. I've already booked and got scheduled some collaborations with some pardos in Brazil. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be several months down the line. I'm just going to drop it. You guys are going to see it. You're going to find it out. And I'm already in contacts with the pardos down there. So we got a lot of stuff coming. Give you guys some information, Brazil, because there's a big language barrier. Like I speak a tiny bit of Portuguese, right? From Duolingo. I've studied some Portuguese, but because of my job, my profession currently right now, like mostly I need Spanish, Espanol. So I've been mainly focused on learning Espanol, and Portuguese and Spanish is similar, but there's different. There's kind of a large drastic difference with pronunciation and words. So it's not the same language, but there are some similarities. But a lot of pardos in Brazil, I've connected with a lot of them, and I'm gonna share that with you guys in the future, next coming couple months. Stay on the lookout for that. Got a lot of stuff, collaborations and stuff planned. So yeah, interesting situation. You put, yeah, I noticed that with white American men, when they are younger, they act like black women aren't worth the time of day. Once they're old ones, the young black woman looks better than them. Yeah, right. Yeah. I seen that shit when I was in Africa too, man. When I was in Ghana, I seen white guys, they're older white guys, but they're with these like young like African chicks. It's just, yeah, they're not fucking fooling me. Yeah, they try to act all cocky and shit when they're younger. Oh, I only want white chicks and Latinas. Ha ha ha. Maybe the mixed chick. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. Once they turn fucking 40 or 50, they're trying to get anything they can get. Fuck out of here. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I read that already. That's why Brad's women are moving into Caribbean having mixed kids with black men, and they are mad. Yeah, they're mad. It's all over the place. Like I shared there's a guy in Australia. His profile name on Twitter is called Garbage Human. And he's mad that even Latina women are trying to get like mixed kids or some shit. Like that's how bad, like they know the situation is bad. They're being cucked in front of their own eyes by their own women. This mutiny. But they got to find a scapegoat. They're blaming Jews for why their women are basically handing it to them. And they're going to blame you. They're going to blame mulatto children, not the men, not the mulatto men, because they want to go toe to toe, tat for tat. You look at the odds, we measure the metrics. The mulatto men we're very confident. because we dominate basically every sphere that we participate in: boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, mathematics, science, engineering. Any field that we involve ourselves into, we dominate it. Well, they mentioned that having diverse genes makes it less likely to have two of the same bad genes, unlike one race people. That's a great point. Yeah, they carry those recessive genes to their pure-blooded Anglo child. They got all these fucking issues. Like, I can't tell you, man, the people I work with and shit, and they got fucking issues all over the place, seeing a doctor. You know, we need more mulatto think tanks. Like I said with the lady, we're not a mulatto, shout out to her. If she put a comment in one of my live streams, my last one or the one before that, where she's like basically straight up like, we need more mulatto think tanks, because the fact is you guys don't have your own think tanks. You got, or she said echo chambers. She said we need more mulatto echo chambers. I say a think tank. Like, people are not speaking for you, speaking in your interest for you, giving you better results and providing solutions. You have these other outsiders and interlopers who are not, they're not benefiting, they're not for you, they're against you. Like, a lot of my ops, they don't put comments here, black or white. My ops, like, they just steady, just stay quiet and just, oh, write down, like, watch what I'm doing, take notes and calculate, analyze, and that's it. Like, but who's speaking for you? It's very, slim pickings out here. Nobody gives a damn about your ass. That's the whole thing. And you look at it, it's like when they mention having diverse genes makes it less likely to have two of the same bad genes, unlikely one race parent people. Nobody out here is providing solutions. Why are they acting like they don't get more cancers? Yeah, they get cancers. They have, back problems. They have a lot. They, like I was saying, like, if we're going to take it to that level, I will. I'm just talking my shit right now. You guys can kind of tell, kind of stumbling over some words. I'm just talking my shit right now. But if we want to get to that level, I can definitely present some links and data, some articles and with discrepancies, which populations suffer from these illnesses, etc. We already know what self-deletion, just stick to that one alone. The white males have that more than anybody else, more than the black males. Oh man, it's so tough out here for a black man, for a black king. It's so tough out, blah, blah, blah. But the white boys are deleting themselves more than anybody else. Like, it's pretty bad for them out here. I don't know why they're trying to save face and pretend like everything's all gravy and shit, when we already see like your own women are in open mutiny against you. But you want to blame the mulatto children. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, because those mulatto children, they're going to grow up, and guess what? They're really going to fucking hate you. You think it's anything now. I mean, once they see the data, they see all the shit you've been talking about them, they're really going to fucking hate you. It's not going to be pretty. It's easier for them to get a younger, divested-minded black woman than a younger white woman or Asian woman. They're impressed with less, sadly. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah. Mulattoes are at lower risk of cystic fibrosis, white disease, and sickle cell black disease, I believe. Yeah. I haven't seen the data, but this is important for us to talk about this, because we can brainstorm and analyze, pick up this information and realize, okay, where do we stand on this? Where are our deficiencies? Where do we need more research and data collection to help us improve these problems we see? As far as, yeah, sickle cell anemia, and you said cystic fibrosis, which is where the whites suffer from. Yeah. Yeah. The main thing I see with them is what with these white nationalists and, other, mainly the blacks and white, because those are the two groups are fighting with each other, the blacks and the whites, because they want control over us, right? They want to use us. So what they're fighting over, what they say to try to basically dissuade us from forming a community, is they say, oh, you got mental health issues, you got mental issues, you got identity issues, you don't know where you belong. Mulattoes belong with other mulattoes. We already found a solution. But then they try to basically promote this idea of this blood, this bone marrow transfusion, bone marrow transplants. It's like, well, you're providing us with links. We already kind of have solutions now. Where to find donors and access where we need. You guys are giving us links now. So what else do you have after that? Because they're giving us solutions. Like, what else? What's the other problems out here? You got identity issues. You don't know where you belong. I don't belong with you fuckers. I'll let you people fight each other, fuck each other, and delete each other. You're just going to create more of us. And my goal to tell these younger people, don't serve them. They owe you. They need to pay you, give you something. Okay, there's enough of us out here now. We'll eventually find each other. Those of you who found me, you found me. It was word of mouth. People shared my shit. You found me. We're finding each other. Period. It's only going to grow. I'm nobody special. I'm just a guy with some balls on the internet. But there's others out here. And even after, say, a couple years down the line, someone else is going to pick up the mantle. They're going to start talking their shit. And they're going to be way more advanced and polished and articulate than me. I'm not special. So you put here, I never knew about those blood types in the last sentence. I have to do a bit of deep dive into this. There is no such thing as an indigenous African or a native African. Why refer to us? We have a white parent. We can get common blood types for either race or both. I have the same blood type as my white dad. Their medical arguments aren't logical, and 90% of these people aren't healthy, nor do they care about their health, pretending to be health authority for strangers. Precisely. You said it all right there. I can make this the title of the stream, put it in the description box. Shout out to you, Val. You know I love you over here, man. You're definitely very prized and very valued over here because, yeah, you said it all right here. Like, their arguments aren't logical at all. And they basically position themselves as being some type of authority on medical issues, and examine a lot of them. They're not the most medically healthy people at all, and they pretend like they care about random strangers, but they're talking for you and against you, the mulattoes, at the same time. That's the issue I have, is because we do not have accurate, adequate representation. Mulattoes don't have adequate representation. So these whites, these white nationalists, and these blacks, they think they can jump up on social media and fucking talk about you without any pushback. And I'm sitting there like, what? Who do these, and even with this guy, this, the whole Twitter thing, he shut the fuck up. Once I told him, you're giving us sources and solutions for our problems, he shut up. He didn't say shit after that. Yeah, of course. What else is he going to say? There has been a mulatto underground on the internet since not long after the invention of the World Wide Web. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The gentleman, the gentleman who created the mulatto flag, Richard Warbird Miller, and these other mulattoes behind the scenes. Yeah. Yeah. They've been basically underground for a minute. Yeah. Blacks have a bad habit of calling other groups as the same. Like, they will say Arabs and Indians are the same. They're not the same. Arabs, Indians, Latinos are not the same as blacks. Okay. They're not. I really feel sorry for Brad that follows a black female mindset. Well, they're cuckolds, right? It's like a reverse cuckold. Because there's black doms, black female doms, who have their whole business and industry is getting these white cucks to pay them. And, it's very, very sad and bad out here for a lot of white males. That's why I said they have the highest rates of self-deletion. And I'm not trying to sit here and brag or laugh at them or mock them or pity them. I'm just pointing it out. If they want to play the tit for tat game about the mulattoes with the whole health discrepancies and mental health issues, if they want to play, if I find the information, if I go on Twitter, if they're sitting there trying to play this game with mulattoes, like, look, okay, you guys have the highest self-deletion rate. So there's nobody on the planet that can talk about mental health and the severity than you people. You people clearly have mental health issues. Because if you can't even deal in this reality, this world we're living in, this simulation, and you want to just fucking delete yourself out of here, like there's nobody that suffers more than that. And I'm not laughing at that to say, oh, it's just something laughing matter. I'm just saying, like, you can't pretend like you got some balls to talk shit about the mulatto out here when you got these issues, and then you're gonna sit there and get cucked by a black female to talk shit about the black male. Like you say, you really feel bad. You really feel sorry for Brad that follows a black female mindset. Yeah, it's just the cuckold kind of fantasy crap, and that's their reputation that they have for being cuckolds. If you have a sibling as a mixed person, your odds are better. Yeah, yeah, for a match. Yeah, exactly, precisely. An article noted that, oh, well, even if you have a mixed sibling, your odds. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Let me see if I can find it. Nah, but I'll share the link. You guys can have access to it. I'm just gonna get through these comments and get the hell up out of here. You put, imagine using your health as collateral to support the one drop rule. Yeah. They leave out the juicy detail of purpose because the easiest solution is having multiple mixed race kids. Yeah. Interesting. You put here BIPOC one dropping every non-white is black, basically. And you notice they put the black up front in their acronym B, black, indigenous, people of color. They're trying to include everyone. It's a communist, homosexual, LGBT term, an acronym they use, BIPOC, within academia. There's nothing respectable. When I first heard that term being, positioned, I think I said this before on my channel, one of my broadcasts. It was a white guy, a white liberal guy up in Seattle. We were in kind of a Zoom meeting about gig workers, DoorDash and Amazon gig workers. We were in like a Zoom meeting, and I basically laughed and talked because people were complaining that their wages were too low. They weren't making enough money. They wanted to get more money from Amazon. I was like, man, you guys accept these jobs and stuff like that. I took that approach. There's a white guy in there who basically put that whole BIPOC argument in there. Well, BIPOC people suffer more and blah blah blah. I was like, BIPOC, what the fuck does that mean? Is a white liberal guy. I don't know his sexual orientation, didn't ask, but I'm sitting there like BIPOC. I've never saw this language being used. That was the first time I saw that. BIPOC, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's just purely communist LGBT language to basically put blacks as the most disadvantaged, and the Latinos and Arabs and Asians, they're underneath the blacks. It's just who's gonna sign up for that shit? The mulattoes over here, we're not signing up for that. Period. It's funny these white supremacists have whole study dedicated to looking into the mental and physical health of mixed people when theirs is far worse according to statistics. Yeah, especially the self-deletion rate you put here. Yeah. Yeah, they have the highest self-deletion rate in the world amongst other demographics. But they want to talk about mulattoes. They're going to suffer from mental issues. They're not going to know where they fit in, where they belong. I don't belong with you whites or you fucking blacks because you whites, you got these blacks in your fucking pocket. We've already exposed and examined that whole game. The cat's out the bag now. The mulattoes are here now and we're building. The cat's out the bag. We know you Anglos, you got these Bantus in your fucking back pocket. The Kendrick Lamar crowd, the Kendrick Lamar, the FBA, all these fucking pro whacks, they serve the white nationalists. Period. We already know you got them in your back pocket. The mulattoes, we're on a different agenda. We're doing something different over here. You're just gonna have to wait and see what's going on. You are the man of the hour, MV. Appreciate you, Chief Inspector. Genetic annihilation is the white supremacist worst fear, especially Anglos. Literally a way for whites with victim complexes to tie themselves to non-white communities. It's crazy how anti-mixed race a lot of them tend to be, though. Yeah, yeah. It is crazy, but we have to talk about it. We have to talk about it. I'm dedicating my social media platform to talk about it. I'm gonna drop the link. I got some of you guys up in here. I'll stay up here for a couple more minutes. You guys want to hop up on here on the panel, be my guest? Couple minutes, couple minutes. I'm gonna get the hell up out of here because I got some stuff going on this weekend. So yeah.
I will make this whole planet suffer! This can't be happening!
I am the Prince of all Saiyans once again!
All right, so we don't have any takers. Nobody's gonna hop up on here. Give you guys a few more seconds before I kind of close things out. Because yeah, got some other shit planned this weekend. But yeah, I already shared with you guys the article. I'll share it within the description box. Right. Let me just kind of share it. One last time on this live stream, we have Diverse Health Hub, blood organ and bone marrow issues for BIPOC and mixed races. And it's funny how they separate the two, right? As I've said, the language is crucial and important. When you deal with the light skin black or the MGM or the golden, whatever the hell they call themselves tomorrow, it's like, this is, we're not the same. The mulatto who's European and African, we're not the same as these other groups, okay? We're not. We have specific issues, specific dilemmas we have to deal with and tackle. We have to protect ourselves, our identity, our personhood from these other individuals, these other groups, because they're trying to literally absorb you and erase you and use you. And I'm not trying to spread fear tactics or, scare tactics. Let's be honest. Let's be real. I mean, they claim all your wins. They literally identity swap and claim everything you do that's great and pretend like it's some black achievement or some light skinned black achievement or something like that. And I'm sitting there like, this BIPOC or people of color, whether this is not, no, this is not mulatto history. They've done that with the whole mulatto Ben community. They're trying to rewrite history and talk about mulatto Ben. They're saying it's free people of color. That doesn't mean anything. Like that's part of black history. Mulattoes are not a part of there's mulatto history in America. They're trying to erase you people. It's like, do you guys not see this? Like with this whole people of color language, they're trying to erase you. Looks like I got the Al show who's jumping up here. Hey, what's up, Al?
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm pretty good. Thanks for hopping up on here.
Yeah, I got interested with the article you just mentioned about the organs and I guess it would be organ donation or organ matches and blood and so forth. Um, the medical aspect is something that I haven't looked into that much when it comes to mixed race people, but it's something that's always kind of made me a little curious because I was reading a book once. I think I recall the title. Black, White, Other. It's a book I've read several times. It's like oral, I don't know what the term would be, not oral history, but like interviews with different mixed race people. And there was someone who was talking about that there wasn't a lot of it was a lady who was talking about if she ever got a grant, it would be to look into some of the medical aspects relating to mixed race people, because she felt that there wasn't a lot of research done. Certain things. So that's an area I've always been a little curious. I don't think about it because, well, I'm not in mixed race spaces anymore, and I'm busy with my podcast and other projects. But it is something that's caught my eye, and it's something that's made me curious. But unfortunately, I never spent any time on it. I'm not somebody who's into like medical, medicine or medical science or those aspects. There are people who are really fascinated with that sort of thing. I'm not one of those people. I'm not into it. The closest that I can come to is say, I'll watch a medical show, like a drama show. That's the closest that I can come to it. That's not saying much, but.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of discrepancies and disparities we can address as well. But my whole point with the whole stream was that it's funny, like these people will bring this to your attention and they'll literally provide you solutions. They'll provide you with avenues and sources and links on where to find solutions for what you're looking for with in regards to this whole bone marrow transplant predicament, which is big for us, finding proper adequate donors. But I just get a kick out of it because like a lot of these individuals, they suffer from severe mental health and other disparities as well, medical disparities, but they're trying to point the finger at us as if we're deficient or there's more problems. Well, mixed race people, like I said, let me put the comment up. This guy put here, he called us abominations. This is what really, sparked my interest. The guy here literally called us a fucking abomination. He put here, those poor abominations will never be able to have organ transplants. I'm like, says who the hell says who? Like, we're finding solutions over here. We will have proper donors to support. They want to act like you can't have any solutions to problems that are presented in front of you. These are people who are against you. Yep.
Well, first of all, that is a complete. That's like not so much a generalization as it is a kind of final a statement made in finality, and that's not really true. It's not true. Or you can't have. Who says? I mean, it might be hard to find a donor, might be difficult, but it's not impossible. So, I mean, when I now that I think about this, I'm like thinking, I'm glad I haven't been in this situation. I'm really thinking, like, man, what would happen if I need like bone marrow or other kinds of things, other kinds of organs and stuff like that, or other parts of anatomy. So I don't know. I mean, it's something I haven't really come across too much. Or, I mean, again, I've been curious about it because I had read a little and that got me thinking. But, it's like anything, life and other things distracts you or keeps you busy. And it's not something that I spend a lot of time thinking about or really having a lot of interest. But everybody's interested. But, the thing about health and other medical aspects is most people aren't interested until they run into that situation. It's like what they say about a lawyer. Yeah, people criticize lawyers until they need one, right? So, I mean, I confess I'm not somebody who's terribly into a lot of these medical aspects. It's not an area I have any particular interest in. But it did make me a little curious when I was, reading about it, like what I mentioned earlier. And when I read about it, I'm like, what are the medical aspects in regards to mixed race people? What are the obstacles? What are the difficulties? What are the issues? I think that's something that should be talked about. Maybe I made this point once when I was in the mixed race space, but there are serious, I think I did once. There are a lot of serious issues with dealing with that mixed race people have to deal with. And that's why mixed race people trying to be monoracial isn't productive, because there are issues like this that monoracial people won't have to deal with because they've got their own medical issues.
And
Go
you
ahead.
have a lot of experience dealing with these wannabes. I like how you call them the wannabes. The
Oh,
wannabes,
yeah.
they want to be monoracial. You have a lot of experience dealing with them because they are literally the worst. Talking about these issues, they are the worst. They are desperately pretending and trying. You publicly heard them say that mixed people are a subgroup to black people. You've heard them publicly jump on panels and argue with other monoracial people to stake their claim and to fight for their place in their community, trying to say that they're a subgroup. Can you talk more about that?
Well, it's interesting you use the term subgroup because that's an interesting description. You know, I made a decision a long time ago not to deal with people like that, because what I saw was that I really believe that it's easier to deal with people who are who are with the program than people who don't believe in the program and are against it. And I mean, my experience of dealing with the so-called wannabes varies. I was on a group once, I remember, on Facebook, and I didn't know that this group had a number of these wannabes on there. I think it was something having to do with the show Mixedish. I don't know if you remember that show, but like I said, there were a couple situations where I came into a couple groups and they build themselves as mixed race, and everything is monoracial. Everything is about, there's nothing to deal with mixed race people or biracial people or multiracial people. And I joined one group not knowing, I don't know what the name was or the title. And so I've encountered that a couple times. And so dealing with the so-called wannabes, I'm trying to remember the one group I was on. I was on a group where you get people that, and again, it really depends on their background. If you come from a community, if they were raised in monoracial communities where they weren't around mixed race, this is why I pointed out to people. I said, you got to understand, to other people, I've said this to a couple other people, you got to understand that mixed race people don't necessarily grow up around other mixed race people. So they don't really know them. I mean, I've been in a group or two where a mixed race person comes in and they're not used to talking to another biracial or multiracial person. They don't know what that's like. And, if you've been in, say, mixed race YouTube, for example, or you've been in groups on, social media, that may seem novel to you, but for people, they're not used to, I mean, I've heard one or two people who supposedly are mixed race saying, oh, really? There's a mixed race space on YouTube? I didn't know that. And of course they don't. But, it's like a lot of things on YouTube. It's a lot on YouTube, but you got to go find it. You got to search it out. The reality when it comes to the wannabes is I've encountered people that are very militant. They're very, I would call them integrationists. What they want to do is integrate themselves in Black communities because they probably come from Black communities. And to do that, part of it is by their kind of being very vocal activists, right? I call it the Colin Kaepernick syndrome, where they believe if they become, I mean, I've heard mixed race people complain, and the way that some of them have complained, like on YouTube or on shows or whatever, and their complaint is, look, I've been an activist, I've fought for black people. How come they treat me different? They disrespect me, or how come some disrespect me? How come some don't see me as one of them? How come they see me as different? And I was telling somebody, I think I was on another panel, we're dealing with mixed race per se. I think it was about colorism or something, which is something I don't really know a lot about. But what I was saying was the problem one of the things that I've said to these people, whether it's directly or just like on a panel like this, is if you wish to be seen as monoracial, you have to take everything that comes with it. You have to take the sweet and the sour.
Hey,
And go ahead.
check this out. Some troll up here is trying to troll you. Sorry to sidetrack you, but some troll, some in their little sock puppet account saying, "Does the retirement home health aides know he's out of his room?" This is some troll. I don't know who this is, but some just random sock puppet account troll. Sorry to
I
kind
don't
of,
know what that means. I don't know what that means.
it's some random troll.
Okay.
They follow you, they follow me. Like the
I
thing
didn't
is,
know. I haven't seen any trolls. I haven't really dealt with trolls in a long time. Well, my channel is defunct. This channel is
I
defunct.
block.
So,
For me, I block people with the quickness over here on this channel.
right. I know you get
I know
trolled. I don't think I've seen a troll. If
the
that's
town.
oriented toward me, go ahead.
You know the town drunk. Her whole channel is based off trolls,
Oh,
right? The town
oh
drunk.
yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, right. Oh, that's right. Um,
So it could be her sock puppet account or somebody's, or Evil Roy Slade. I don't know that character,
Yeah, it's
but
odd because I don't know what that means because I'm going, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if they're trolling, you got to troll something that is number one, true, and number two, actually would be something that would not reflect well on someone else.
yeah,
That's the whole point of like going insulting people.
like the
If the
retire.
insult, but
Yeah.
sorry, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the retirement home stuff is really stupid. Like, I've done security at a retirement home before,
Hmm.
and like those people, they're not up on YouTube panels talking like a retirement home. Like these are people who have dementia and Alzheimer's. Like these are people who like they cannot like actively participate in these type of social engagements. So the whole retirement home jokes are pretty stupid and old at this time. I don't understand why people still use that as if it's like a ha ha joke. Like people will say with me, "Oh,
Oh
you're
yeah.
an incel." They'll say I'm an incel, but why
Hmm.
is there all these women who support me in my social media? It's very flawed. Like the trolls, they have to come up with anything to basically try to diminish your
It's
reputation.
strange to me because I gather that again. What I mentioned before is this: generally, when you're coming after somebody, if you're going to make up something, that's got to make some sense. Or if you're going to try to insult it, the insult's got to be something that would actually sting, that the person would actually be possibly upset over, or possibly be, pissed off about or angry. And I'm looking at whatever that guy said, and I'm going, "What do you like?" I'm baffled. Like I'm a little confused. So I'm like, is that supposed to be saying I'm elderly or something? Or that there's some elderly person dealing with my channel? Actually, I just thought of something with this thing because I was like, I don't know what that is. There was I know that there was some kind of rumor that was floated, not rumor. there was somebody in, I don't want to say the name of the space. I'll just call it the Prince of Scam Africanism space. But I think that there was someone who was trying to say, putting out a lie, that there was an elderly guy or elderly person that ran my channel, this channel. So I think that, because I haven't heard anything like that in a long time. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It's really strange. The only thing I can say is there's no old person that's in charge of this channel. My channel, I don't I don't have an old, there isn't an old person that's running it. It's me. So there's no other person, there's no other old guy. It's just me, and I'm a middle-aged guy. So I think that was like a lie that somebody was putting out. I don't.
Well,
Again,
at least you're not a pro whack. I mean, that's the good thing. At least you're not a pro whack intersectionalist. I mean, as long as you're not that, you're good. But you're a
well, I don't
journalist.
know.
You're a
Okay, yeah,
journalist, though, right? You're a
I
journalist.
was. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
for about 22
publication.
years.
Well, you
Yeah,
still
I was.
are, right? Don't you have like
Uh,
Substacks? You promote Substacks. I saw a
I mean, that's
TikTok.
true. Right. Well, actually, I call Substack the place where ex-journalists go, because a number of people who were like newspaper journalists and or magazine or whatever, they've come to Substack now because they see it as a way to kind of do their thing. I hate to put it well, no, I'm happy to do a plug for Substack, because that's an outlet where you could just write your stuff. Like you put out digital newsletters, right? So people who have, used to write for newspapers, who used to write for magazines, say they got laid off or they're retired. I retired. I found out about Substack and I went, oh, I see some other journalists are here. It seems like a place where they would go. I'll set up something. And I wrote like one article, and then I think I wound up being like a content creator here. It's when I found, when they told me, oh yeah, you can make, videos or lives or whatever. And so I tried it out, and I think I got kind of sidetracked by YouTube. So I came back to Substack last year. I was writing articles, and then I started a new one, which is about movies, about film, Substack, and that's where my podcasts are too. It's also on Spotify. But so I mean, I'm not. So technically, I'm retired. Yeah, I'm on Substack and I write newsletters, but yeah, I'm technically not a working journalist anymore. I retired in 2017. I don't know. I just define myself as a writer. I'm a ghostwriter. So I'm both of those, and that's about it. I'm a film analyst. That's technically what I am. But yeah, it's interesting that I don't know who that troll is or what it was about, but it just got me to think, because I was like baffled. I mean, like, what the hell are they talking about? And then I thought about that lie, that there was a lie or something about old guy runs my channel or something. I don't know why people think that's. I mean, it's an interesting. Maybe it's a Wizard of Oz thing. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't. That's the only thing I can think about, because I know there was that lie that there's an old guy running this channel. That I guess it's not me. Somehow I'm not involved, or I didn't run this channel. It was some old person. I don't know where people got that idea. I don't know where they thought about that. But it seems that remark that you saw in the chat was probably because of that lie. But I haven't heard that in quite a while. So
Yeah, social media is weird. You got a lot of
yeah,
trolls, a lot of sock puppet accounts, and you've already basically done your experimentation on social media. You've examined, like you were in the whole Umar Johnson sector, which is bizarre. I never even heard there was a sector, like a space like that. It's just very weird. Like there's a lot of spaces and places on social media for people to congregate, which is good in a sense because we already have our own kind of echo chamber over here that I promote. But you do have other spaces where it's like they promote like drama and celebrity gossip and controversy for like views and like that. It's very bizarre. Like it's not a community sense. They're not trying to build a
No,
community.
no.
It's like
Ye-
they're trying to fight each other for like
Well,
numbers and clout and crap. It's
yeah, I
very
was told
bizarre.
about a space that literally the people there are fighting, not the Umar space, another space. I was told, and they go at it. It's much tougher. You've got all kinds of spaces on YouTube. It's really, it's funny. When I went to the mixed race spaces, it was different. The reason I found out about I call it the screwed up sector, but the Umar sector. The reason I found out is I wrote a piece about him for my blog at the time, and I was invited onto a platform, channel, and I guess that person was in that space. I got to be honest, I had never heard of him because I was aware of 3 people that did videos about Umar, and that's the people that I knew. I didn't know there was an entire space on YouTube about this guy. So I had written my piece, I got on the panel, and then I heard people saying things about me. Who is this guy? He's saying other ethnic groups that I'm not. They were trying to say I'm this ethnic group or that.
Well, someone
Biracial people are used to that. Go ahead.
Well, someone called you a separatist. I saw a community post you made, Al, where
Yeah.
someone was trying to claim you're like a separatist or some sort.
Mhm.
That's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Right. Now that's different. Um, I gotta be honest, that's a separate thing. This is somebody who came up in my feed. And I'm not going to say this person's name because it's evident that this person is very into content, and they're basically addicted to content and making content and addicted to lives. They're live addicts. That's what I would call them. So I won't say the name of this person, but this person's channel came up in my feed, and this individual, I was in the chat and they were talking about music, and I was talking about stuff I liked and a couple other things. And this person started talking about the exoticals. Now I gotta be honest, I don't know anything about the exoticals. I don't know what they're about. It seems like a female-centered space. Like you were saying about other spaces on YouTube. Hey, that's a good thing. They're different spaces. My policy has always been, I don't even know if it's a policy, I guess now it is, but I've always been, I don't worry about what goes on in other spaces. Now, if somebody says something about me that's untrue, like, for example, that this channel is run by an elderly guy and not me, for example, or that it's some elderly guy running it instead of me or whatever, then I'm going to confront that, or I'm going to deal with it. And as I like to say, fight the lie and then let the lie die. But if it's a space where people are saying whatever they want about different subjects and people and other things, then that's none of my business. It really just isn't. What the exoticals do in their channel is none of my business. It's a female-centered thing from what I see. I'm a guy, so, nothing to do with me. But this person that I'm talking about, in terms of the individual that I was talking about, was talking about the exoticals, and I'm like, I think I wrote in the chat, I'm like, you seem very obsessed with the exoticals. So one day, this person, after I've been there like 2 or 3 times in the chat, this person has a live about cliques, groups, and spaces. And I think, well, that's an interesting live. And they had a link. And I thought, well, that's an interesting space. But I'm thinking about this person and their obsession with the exoticals. So I go up there. I don't know the lady. I've been in the chat a couple times, but I didn't know her. I didn't know anything about her. And in the course of a conversation, what here's now that now after that, what I realized was this. What happened there was a setup. It wasn't a setup beforehand, but once I got up there, it was a setup. They wanted me. I got the feeling afterwards that they wanted me to say something to her and go after her or whatever. Because if I did that, if I was critical, if I was confrontational, if I was angry or something, actually I was curious. And I was curious. Actually, I was suspicious, and I was up there with this in mind. I wanted to find out, is the clique or space or group you don't like the Exoticals? But I didn't want to come out and say that. I don't want to do that. But what was interesting was this. When I talked about what biracial people and multiracial people had told me about how they were treated badly, biracial women told me they were bullied sometimes by African-American women or females, and how guys were seen as effeminate and weak. She had this disdainful kind of attitude, like I'm somehow saying something that isn't based in fact. When I'm on a panel, it was like, well, do you know African Americans? I'm like, it's not a matter of whether I know them or not. It's a matter of whether the people would have told me about their experiences. That's the point. I'm talking about other people's experiences. And see, one of the traps you get with some people when you're a biracial person is they want to make everything about you. They want to always individualize stuff. That's what I've noticed. And that's one of the reasons I don't talk about mixed race stuff with monoracial people. The reason I don't do that is because there is a lack of understanding. There is also an impasse, a barrier, a wall, you could say. And I think part of it's just plain logical, right? It's a matter of cultural dissonance, of ethnic dissonance. There are people who are monoracial do not understand biracial people. They do not understand multiracial people. They just don't. It's not their fault. I don't necessarily blame them. And this is something I learned a long time ago being in mixed race groups. I don't blame them. I understand. And that's why I was very satisfied over the years of being in biracial groups and even being in mixed race too, because I got to talk to people like me or people that were mixed race. And I was very happy with that. It just...
Yeah, definitely. No doubt, Al. All your points are very valid and solid. I appreciate that. I'm gonna end things now. It's getting kind of late over here, and the trolls, one troll with his like fucking 50 million sock puppet accounts has kind of spoiled the show. I don't want to give that Fruit Loop any shine.
Is there someone still... Sorry about that. I had to
No,
speak to
I
someone.
already blocked him. But no,
Okay.
I don't want to make him feel like they kind of did anything to disrupt the show. This is the
No.
end.
I was confused. Like, I looked at that and I'm like scratching my, like, is that supposed to be funny? Is that
Upset.
supposed to be insulting? Because I'm like looking at it, I'm going,
The
oh,
troll,
okay.
the troll came, the troll
But,
came in with his sock puppet account and he put the title, "Your content sucks, but he's watching me." That says a lot about that hoe. I'm gonna just
oh,
say that. Like, he's like, "Your
so
content sucks, but I'm watching you, Vanguard, and I'm
so
recording
are,
your
are
videos."
so is it a troll for you, or is it
It's
a
my yeah,
troll for
one of my
me?
trolls. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was worried. Like, I was like,
The
how would
thing
a
is,
troll?
Al,
Good.
everyone has trolls. If you're a social media personality and you're providing content, you give an opinion that differs from the status quo, let's say, you're
Hmm.
gonna have trolls. Like for me,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I had
it's
trolls on
par
my
for the course.
channel. I had trolls that came to my channel. What I did was I found them and I wrote community posts, and thus I exposed them publicly. So I did that twice. I was fortunate. I got a tip on one, and I did it with a couple others, or at least one other. I think I mentioned another recently, but I did that with trolls. So yeah, I haven't dealt with trolls in a long time, but I didn't know whether that troll had actually found out that I was here. That was why I was curious. I'm like, I've never had a troll come here and try to do that, but so I guess it's a troll somehow that maybe knows you and me. Maybe could that be it?
Yeah, it's just one of my trolls. Just there's like, there's people, Fruit Loop, who's obsessed.
Following me? I'm like,
You know,
wow, there. But
it's
yeah, maybe that. Go ahead.
yeah, if there's like some weird kind of fetish or kind of that's what makes it weird, for social media when you got like some depraved individual who's like sexually repressed and they're just weird Fruit Loops and like that's what makes it weird.
Well,
Doesn't make it
I
fun.
hate to say this. I won't say the person's name, of course, but I know you at least have one person. I'll just call him Evil Roy Slade, who's
Yeah,
obsessed with you.
he's a
I
weirdo.
mean,
Yeah,
oh
evil
my
Roy
God.
Slade.
I was like, unfortunately, for some reason, I checked out his content. I don't know why. But he was like, your name was there, like, must have been 10 times. I'm like,
I saw, yeah, somebody told me this was over a year ago. So
uh-huh.
he's been obsessed with me for over a year. Someone what told me
Wow,
another
that long? I thought it
yeah,
was recent.
someone told me that the guy, like every single friggin' day, he was tagging me in posts. I just blocked his notifications. So
Wow.
I don't even get like I'm living my best life out here. I'm going to work and doing what I'm doing. I don't get none of the notifications from the trolls, but someone told me they messaged me was like, "Oh yeah, this person," and they calculated how many
Oh,
posts,
really? Yeah, I
hundreds of
didn't
posts,
count, but I'm
like
just,
every
I just
day.
said it off the top of my head.
But
I only saw a few of them. Go ahead.
Check this out. The
Uh-huh.
weird obsession of this for every day to like tag me in a post to try to get my attention, to like get me to look at them. I'm like, this is some weirdo shit. This is not normal. We're talking about the mental illness or psychological eval with different populations. But let's be real, a lot of these mulattoes are really fucked up. I mean, we could talk about the wannabes and stuff like that, but you have a lot of these like kind of sex deviant types, or they just like you said, the head mulatto in charge. They have this head mulatto in charge mindset where they want to act like the head
HNIC, yeah.
the HNIC, like the head nigga in charge, but you have the head mulatto in charge as well. You have these people who like they want to be the top mulatto out here, and I'm sitting there like just produce content that people like. Like don't try to sit here and be a weirdo and tag my name
I
every
didn't know.
friggin' day.
I honestly did not know that he was doing that, that he was doing it for a year or more. I thought it was a recent thing. I mean, because I'm only going by what little I saw. I don't know the last time I was there. I thought it was kind of recent, but over a year or a year? I don't know what to say. Jeez. I mean, the one thing I did like about the mixed race space is, and I've said this to people, they did take the garbage out. The trash did get put out.
Right, like
That's
angry
the
biracial.
one thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
like
he
an
was
angry
one.
biracial character. Like he's basically just stuck with black women in his little circle or his little space or corner, I should say corner of YouTube. I mean, there's a couple mixed people who probably like him, but no serious content creators who are
Well,
mixed are gonna mess with him.
he
Like,
alienated a lot. He alienated a lot of people in the mixed race space.
right.
He just started attacking everyone,
Yeah, and making up
men,
lies.
women. Yeah, it was.
That's what he's good at. That's what he's good at. He concocted an entire false narrative about me. That's his skill set because he's like a quote unquote author. He writes books, so he's
Yeah,
able to
from what
tell.
I understand.
Yeah, man. Like he'll make up lies. Like he'll make up lies, and he's pretty crafty at that. Sad to say, like that's his skill set. He can make
I
up
mean,
lies
that
and
guy.
craft
Right.
stories. Is pretty.
Well, yeah. Did I think he told me once? I talked to him a couple times. he said something about he had a journalism degree or something. I have no idea, but he was writing books or something like that. I'm going, if they're self-published, yeah, good luck with that. Because you got to do everything if you self-publish a book. That's
I don't believe
Chris,
him. I mean, I
yeah.
wouldn't believe anything he says. His credibility is
I,
through the
yeah,
shitter. Like,
I can believe that he put out self-published books.
yeah,
Anybody can do that. I mean, but something about him was off. I talked to him 3 times, and we had pretty decent interview, but something wasn't right with this guy. And I didn't know what it was. I couldn't put my finger. I'm like, this guy is way off. I don't know what
yeah,
it was. And then I found out about his past, and I went, wow,
I know.
this
When I first
guy
heard about him,
is. It was like, I mean, when I talked about taking the trash out, that guy isn't trash. He's an entire landfill.
when I first heard about him, man, I had no idea about the whole stolen
No, I
valor.
didn't either.
I
I
had
did not
no
either.
idea about the guy's past. And when like I was on his panel a couple of times, I was like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
he's biracial, angry he's proud biracial, whatever. So I jumped on his panel. But once like shit started getting uncovered and I found out about his past, that he's like a fake soldier and he lied, I was like, oh my fucking God, that
My
this guy
goodness, he
is
didn't even make
crazy.
it through basic. This guy didn't even make it through basic. And he's going out and concocting. Well, I'll let the people out there look this guy up and you'll find out. No, he was on I remember he was on someone's show, that Tanya TKO lady. And she, I think, tore his, a new hole. She dealt with him. And like the guy is a total and complete mess. I'm like, how? This is one of the reasons I'm so critical of YouTube. And I know people would say, well, but you're on YouTube. Yeah, I don't do content. I'll come on a panel, I'll do chat. But on my other channel, I just produce promotional videos and all that. I don't do content for YouTube. Because this is there are just so many different kinds of people that come on YouTube. And what I find fascinating is the shamelessness, the complete lack of any integrity, the fact that these people, it doesn't matter what people find out about them. Like, I would think that you would have a sense to get off of YouTube and get away from it and not do this. No, when you find out about people's past, it's crazy. You know that Umar space that you mentioned?
Yep. The Umar Johnson sector.
You would not believe, because I've now had to deal with 1 or 2 people there recently after like being not wanting,
People are trolling. Are there people trolling you from that space? That's what's
well, not
going on.
trolling. They actually followed me to another panel in another space, and they started trying to scream at me. They came on panels and they were mad, get this, because I didn't know most of the people in their space, or hardly any. I didn't know what was going on there, and I didn't know their space nor cared about it. And they were like, yeah, but you were there, you were around. I'm like, no, I've been in a mixed race space, and I left YouTube as a content creator. What they wanted, I think, was this. And I see these tactics all the time on YouTube. And this could happen to anybody. That's why I call them YouTube tactics and stuff. What happens is people will go on panels. They'll see you. I don't know if it happens to you, but they'll see you on a panel. They'll come after you. And what they want to do is they'll want to go after you, scream, yell, have arguments. What they want you to do is go to your channel, do a live, talk about them, go get vicious, nasty, dirty with them, and put that out so that now they've got something that they can use as a response. And they've got content for days. Oh, look at what this guy said. Look at what he did. Look at what happened. What happened was when I was on this panel, I told them, you do know that my channel is defunct. I don't make content anymore. I don't do live streams. I don't put out live streams. I don't put out videos. I don't do that. So there's nothing in it. There's nothing. And I told these people, they didn't get it. That's how stupid they were. You had 3 of these idiots try to do that. What else happened is this. After that, they didn't get what they wanted. But the reason why I now have to deal with at least a couple of these people now, one of them took content from my channel. It's no longer there. He took content from my channel and tried to play it on his channel. And I enforce copyright. I do not allow people to use audio or video from my channel without my express permission. If you ask me and I'm fine with it, I'll go, yeah, you can use it. But that's it. You have to have permission from me. I enforce copyright. With me, there is no fair use. I'll tell anyone that. There's no fair use for me. I don't do, because I don't do videos. I don't like, this guy did it. Now, here's the thing. This guy supposedly was doxxed. I don't know who doxxed him. I have no idea, but this guy got doxxed. In that space, they go after each other viciously, and they dox each other. There are people that have been doxxed in that space. It's like a war zone in that space. And the stuff that's come out about people is crazy. Well, stuff that I was told. Like people complained about the mixed race space. Oh, people don't get along. No. That place was orderly. It was, it was perfectly fine. I got along with people there. It was a pretty good space. But that Umar space, that space is nuts. It's nuts. The things that have come out about people in that space that I was told about recently, I went, you gotta be kidding. I mean, it's crazy. Again, that guy that supposedly that took my content, from what I'm told, if this is true, I say allegedly, he's been doxxed. This guy that supposedly this guy is, stole license plates. He's also done other things, like domestic violence. I mean, I guess he's on parole or whatever. If this is the guy, again, allegedly, I don't know whether he is or not. But, I mean, not only that, I was told you had someone in that space who said she was a banker. Turned out she worked in a dungeon and was a cam woman or something like that.
Yeah, a sex worker, a cam model. Yeah, that's common.
Oh, so you do know about it. You've been
They're trying to pretend they work at a bank in an office, but they're really what they are is like mistresses or what they call dominatrix. Yeah.
Right. I guess something like that. It was more like a cam thing. And I was like, what is this place? Because again, I'm in a mixed race space and I'm like, this guy steals my content, so I have to go deal with this clown. And I find out, oh, this guy's been doxxed or hasn't, he denies it. And then I hear, oh, this woman is this. I'm like, what? I'm like, is this for real? I mean, it's like a combination red light district and war zone in that place. I mean, it's crazy. But that's the stuff. Apparently, that's the case. I mean, it's like I said, these spaces on YouTube they're all kinds of spaces, and I've been fortunate with the mixed race space in that I might as well say another thing. This is when I talk about attacks. The role of money is also a factor in that space, because what happened is I found this out recently, because I had to deal with this guy. There were people that were paid by other content creators to go after other people in that space. Either people in, other content creators in that space paid them, or someone outside, some other force. So when I was in the mixed race space, money wasn't an issue. Like, nobody was saying, I'll cash app you this, or I'll pay you that, or whatever. That wasn't a factor. People just weren't doing that. In that space, money talked, and the politics of personal destruction walked. Because people were paid to go after people, to attack them, to lie, to dox.
Yeah,
And
that kind of
so,
happened, in this space. Some of that stuff trickled off as well. There was a guy who kind of tried to start crap with you about a few weeks ago. I'm not going to mention his name, but
all right, on this space,
he,
go ahead.
yeah, but he shared a screenshot of somebody with the Cash App, title Karma Creator, and they cashed app him like $100, and they put in the comment like, "Thank you for being a real man." And I know that they basically cash app
Oh.
this guy to basically go after me, and it failed miserably because I just basically demolished this guy. But it was very sad. Like,
Was
it's
that
there.
the guy who was screaming and yelling on the panel to try to scream at me, or was
No,
screaming at me?
somebody
Okay.
else. It was somebody else.
Oh.
It
Oh,
was some
okay.
it was a completely different individual, but, like,
Okay.
there's people on social media, they will literally pay people money
Right.
to attack another content creator. It's
Mhm.
pretty bad. Like,
I've seen it in that space, in the Umar space. I've seen it, and not only have I seen it. Well, I
that's
can't
like
say
a
I've seen
career.
the.
It's like
I
a
haven't
YouTube
seen like
career.
the wire transfers and stuff like that, but it's very clear that it's happening. I think some people have put up stuff, but
Well, yeah,
it's going on. Go ahead.
like I said, the guy who tried to tell you, "You need to show your true identity and, and
Oh,
prove that you're
right,
mixed."
right.
He tried
What
to
about him?
say He tried to say, "You need to prove that you're mixed race." That guy was getting paid off by somebody to attack me. And it's like he was getting paid like $100 here and there on Cash App.
So
I was like,
so
"Holy shit."
so you're saying that guy? I'll just call him Future Man. Uh so you're saying Future Man,
The Truman Show.
a Truman Show? I'll just call him Future Man. So you're saying that Future Man was paid money to come after you
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
by the Karma Creator? Is that the name? I don't
Yep.
know if I got that
That's the
right.
receipt. It's just some generic Cash App name. It's some sock puppet, like,
Yeah.
because there's people who watch all of our channels, they work with
Mhm.
the black nationalists, and they spy on all of our channels to try to make sure that we quote unquote stay in line with intersectional feminism and pro black females. Like, there's literally people out here who think they're the guardians of mixed race people. A lot of mulattoes don't get that. They don't understand that there's pro blacks who literally look at themselves as being the guardians of the discussion, and their whole
Hmm.
mission is to dox and expose all the mixed people who say quote unquote anti-black stuff. But what you'll find out is nobody's more anti-black than black people. I mean, even said that, like, when you examine the Umar Johnson sector, these are all black people, but they're
Yeah,
doxing
it's
and
mostly.
harassing other black
Yeah,
people.
it's
So no
crazy.
nobody
It's
is more
crazy.
anti-black than black people, but you have racist black people who are anti-mulatto, anti-mixed race, where they look at mixed people as being like that they're like the overseers, where they want to monitor us, and if we say anything that's colorist or anti-black, they want to expose us or some weird shit. So what they'll do is they'll
Hmm.
pay off people to basically attack us and go after us and crap. And that's what I saw with this one character, the same guy who was trying to get you to like prove
Yeah,
that you're mixed race.
that was weird because I had no idea who that guy was. And it was strange. You know what was weird about that? I wasn't in the mixed race space, and I thought, why does this guy care about me? I don't visit the channels there anymore. You know, I've been to one or two, but you know, in the past, but it's like pop up, have a conversation, and then leave. But I'm not in that space anymore. And I'm going, why would this guy care? Like, I mean, I guess because I come here, but I'm like, why would he? There's something about that was weird. So when I didn't put out the live, but I did do a response on this channel because I would delete it. I delete it if I do use it for emergency. Like if I feel like I got to respond to something, I will. But I made a reaction where I said, look, if you don't cut that out, I'm going to teach you some manners. And he reacted to it. But what's interesting is he went after the guy who warned me about this guy. He just went and tore into this guy and started doing that. It was very interesting. When I told this guy, Future Man, when I told him, look, you better back off or I'm going to teach you some manners. He at first was like, well, you're not going to do that. But he backed off. I noticed that. He was like, well, I wasn't meaning to do that. I didn't disrespect you. I didn't do. You're going and saying, oh, show us. Or I'm like, I cammed up, guy. How much more do you want? I'm not going to show you a birth. Like, the whole thing was odd. Something about it seemed odd to me because I'm like, why would this guy who I don't know, never talked to, never said anything about, never had any dealings with, why would he call me out? And so when you say that this guy was paid to attack you, I don't want to doubt that this guy was paid to attack me or mention me. I don't know if it was to attack me, but it was to mention me because this guy backed off. He went after the guy who warned me. And I thought that was interesting. I mean, they were supposedly friends. He tore into him. And I was appalled by that. I was like, wow, is this how you're going to treat somebody who's a friend of yours? Even if he's an online friend. I just knew something wasn't right about this guy. And you told me about him, and you said, you know, he had issues. And but I wouldn't doubt if this guy was paid to mention me or something. Because I've seen that in that other space. I've seen that goes on, and it is the power. You know, I don't want to get into my typical criticism of YouTube, but a lot of stuff that goes on YouTube, people should think about whether there are agents of influence and provocateurs, paid provocateurs, the people that come after people, the people that go and do videos about people, that do attacks. Are they doing it because they're just mad or they're just scoundrels or rascals and they're just troublemakers? Or are they paid to make trouble? And so with this lady, what was odd was the way that she said things like she said that whole, what was that? Separatist thing. And I'm like, what she wanted, I think, to do was to get me to react in a way that now she had stuff on her panel that she could go and put out and use that as content. The woman is clearly a content whore. That's what she is. Because I saw that she did a video about the exoticals after I went, also I was right. So I was right after all. This woman is after the exoticals. And, you know, she then did what was that? She did a video she did a live about my post, but my post wasn't about her. It was aimed at the biracial content creators on YouTube. Nothing to do with her.
It's
Yeah, I
probably a
mentioned something.
content cr it's probably a content creator who watches me, and he's too scared to, like, basically bring my name up, but they know that you support my channel and that you're on my panels. Because I don't know the whole context of who this creator was. I saw a community post that you made talking
Mhm.
about separatist. Now, I don't use the word separate because I already know the Afrocentrics are gonna the pro-blacks, they're basically gonna use that as a weapon to attack you and say, "Oh, you're a separatist. You're trying to separate." I say, distance yourself, creating autonomy, an independent functioning body politic. I use specific language and I learned that early on because if you use like, oh, we need to separate from the blacks or something like this, the Afrocentrics are going to use that as a weapon against us. So
Yeah,
that's why they can't put that on me as far as like separatism. Someone tried to put
right.
nationalism on me, but I've been very specific where I'm talking about community. I
That's
say
another
mulatto
aspect
I
is
say
the
mulatto
word
community.
aspect.
I'm not
Yeah,
saying it's semantics, right? I mean, I'm
right.
saying
It's
mulatto
it's
community. I'm not saying
diction. It's
mulatto
word choice.
nationalism. But
They will use that against you. So
if
when you
you,
mentioned that, the impression I got on the panel of this lady, who I will not mention,
yeah,
was she was trying to goad me. Like I said, it was a bit of a setup. She was trying to goad me into reacting. She wanted to react. That's why I said it was an insult. That was the only thing that was mentioned on that live stream that I talked about. But I mentioned, but that whole post was not about the live stream. And yet this person did a whole post of it. It's like, what's the point? It's not about you, but that person wants content and they'll do anything for content. In fact, this person created another channel. It's all about rants and all this kind of stuff. Again, when you see the naked aggression of people, these people, you look at people, it's all about YouTube, it's all about content. That's why I'm critical of YouTube. I'm critical of YouTube. I see what YouTube does to people. I see what it does to these content creators and these people. Everything is about making the watch hours and becoming monetized. And when you're monetized, making sure you stay monetized and making sure, oh, well, I've got to do the right content that'll get me clicks. And so that I'll be able to be able to, you know, that I'll be able to make, I'll be able to grow my channel and all of it. These people will do anything for their channels. They'll do anything to be YouTubers, to remain YouTubers, and not necessarily remain monetized. Some people aren't even monetized. Like the people in that Umar space I was talking about, they're not monetized. I was saying that on a panel the other day. I was like, what company would want to put ads on in the lives of some of these people, on the live streams of some of these people? They'd be insane to do so. It would be crazy. Like I said, this is what happens on YouTube. And people wonder, why did I quit being a content creator? Well, number one, I never wanted to be one. But number two, although I enjoyed putting out the content, which I did, which was about film and TV, I saw, being on panels and observing other content creators, that this platform is a troubling one, and it's got a lot of issues and a lot of problems. I'm not against people being on YouTube if they have good reason to be on YouTube, but you can't put all your eggs in a basket. You need to be using YouTube to promote stuff that can be done outside of YouTube. That's the problem. When you say, I got a show on YouTube and it's about support the channel, support the Patreon, Cash App me, fund me, GoFundMe, pay me, whatever it is, PayPal me, whatever it is. It all becomes a part of one thing. You put all your eggs in the YouTube basket. That's why I've used my other official channel for promotion. It's all about promotion. It's all about marketing. I'm marketing something I do outside of YouTube. That's what I do. Whereas, and I know you are on TikTok, you're on, I guess, Instagram, you're elsewhere. So you're not just here. You're not just doing this here and going, oh, well, plus I know you're working. So you're certainly not doing this full time on YouTube.
And on that note, I do want to close things up because
All right.
I got to get some work done pretty soon. I got to get some sleep and then work tomorrow. So
Yeah, I gotta eat. So
the time difference is drastic, huh? In Hawaii. What island are you on right now?
uh, I'm on Oahu.
Oahu. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a
yeah.
drastic time difference.
Yeah, it's
Crazy, but
different. It's very different because it's like prime time here and it's late on the mainland. So
yeah, man, it's definitely tricky, but I always appreciate when you hop up on here and
yeah, yeah, it was an interesting discussion, and I learned a couple things which I didn't know. It was good because they got a couple pieces of information. At least I hope they're information.
well,
Um,
the goal for
but,
me is to spread information to people. Like when people are basically, spreading, basically conspiracies about us. And not only that, they're inadvertently providing us with sources. They're giving us links and trying to say mixed people have struggles in the medical with, bone marrow transplants and all that. And then they share a link on where to find like donors and stuff. I'm like, these people are so dense. Like they're actually giving us like what we need. Like my whole job here with social media is to give people a voice. But with doing this, man, you're gonna have a lot of haters. Like people, they do
mhm,
not like me. They want to keep
well, that's true.
biracial people underneath the black community. They feel like the black community, that biracial people are owned by the black community. So I'm like public enemy number one amongst the Afrocentrics. Like, the people who troll you, just so you know, they really don't like me. Like once they hear my voice, they see my content, my message, they really don't like me because they know like I'm
that
I'm
that
striving for
troll
this
that was in
independent.
there, I think it was more about you than me because I think, yeah, because I haven't seen a troll come here that was talking about me since I've been here. And I was like, that was odd. I guess that was supposed to be about me, but it didn't really make any sense. So I was like, is that supposed to be aimed at me? Because I don't get it. So I had to think about that. But yeah, I learned a couple of things I didn't know, like about that guy. Like I didn't know that was going on for so long. I tell you, YouTube it's scary. It's scary. I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm trying to tell people. I'm trying to do this. I mean, I hate doing it on YouTube, but I'm trying to tell you, like, you gotta be very, very careful about what you're going to do in terms of a channel on YouTube. You
Yes.
have to be
It's a
very careful. Yeah.
double-edged sword. The political content, you're gonna get in trouble if you do like for me, the political content, you're trying to raise consciousness for this kind of political ideology. It's gonna be troubling. A lot of people are not gonna like it. You're gonna get a lot of enemies, but it's a double-edged sword because there's a lot of exposure. I'm able to reach a lot of people that probably would never have reached on any other medium or platform. So it's like there's kind
Mhm.
of a risk and reward because there's a lot of people, even older than me, who are reached out to me, emailed me, or messaged me, like, and they really love what I'm doing. And that motivates me to be like, look, I need to continue doing what I'm doing. Be more polished, be more professional, be more presentable. But like, I'm inspired by these mulattoes and multiracial people who really like what I have to offer. Like they're my inspiration. And a lot of them are older than me. I'm like, man, it's so rewarding to know that there's people out here who like what I have to say. So that's what kind of gives me my energy, my motivation. But I really appreciate you hopping up on here, Al.
Thanks.
We'll talk.
Thanks.
I just got to go right now. I got to get up early.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Peace out. All right, guys, I'm going to end this now. It's been a very eventful stream, and I'll see you guys on the next one. So, sayonara.